So, this is my current setup, and honestly, I've been using this for a while now and it still works pretty well. I can edit, work and do everything I need here. But over time there is one thing that just started to bother me more and more. The cables. Monitors, chargers, speakers, lights, everything ends up down there. And the problem is, every time I change something, it just gets worse again. So I decided it's time for a full reset. New desk, new setup and basically a full rebuild from scratch. Before anything new goes in, everything has to come off. It always feels a bit strange doing this, because this setup took time to build. But I think sometimes you just need to reset everything to make it better. Alright, this is the VexelLine standing desk. First impression, it feels really solid. The parts are heavy, everything feels stable and nothing feels cheap or light. It feels like something you build once and then just use for years. So yeah, let's put it together. I am just starting with the frame here. Nothing too exciting, so I will show most of this in time-lapse. The build was actually easier than I expected. Everything fits together pretty well and you don't really get stuck anywhere. Once the frame is done, you can already feel how stable the desk is going to be. Now the first test, high adjustment. This is one of the main reasons for a standing desk. And this one, it actually feels really smooth. No shaking, no weird stuff, just steady movement up and down. I also checked the sound while it moves and it's around 45 decibels. So it's quiet enough that you can still work and talk without getting distracted. Now it's time to rebuild the setup. This is always my favorite part because everything slowly comes together again. PC goes back in, monitors go up and the whole desk starts to feel alive again. And while I was doing this rebuild, I also decided to make another upgrade. I am replacing my main monitor. I am going from 2K OLED to a 4K OLED monitor from LC Power. So now both of my monitors are finally OLED, which just makes the whole setup feel more high-end. It's not a huge change visually, but I think for a long-term use it's going to feel really good. Everything just feels better together now. Alright, everything is done and the first thing I notice is just how different the whole setup feels. The wood desk changes everything. It feels more natural compared to my all black setup. That one was more like an only gaming setup, but this one feels more clean, more simple and more relaxed. Even with both monitors, PC and everything on it, there is no wobble at all. But the biggest difference is still the cable management. Not seeing cables everywhere just makes the whole setup feel instantly better. It's one of those changes you don't really notice at first, but once it's done, you don't want to go back. And I think this is the direction I want to go with my setup now. More simple, more clean and something I actually enjoy using every day. Now I want to talk a bit more about the desk itself. Because it's not just a normal table, I can easily fit both monitors, my PC setup and still have room to work on the side. The surface feels really clean and solid. and the color also makes a big difference. This wood finish with the black frame just looks more calm and clean compared to my old setup. What I also like is the stability. Even when everything is on it, monitors, PC, speakers, it doesn't wobble or feel weak. It just stays solid even when you move it up and down. You can also choose a 3-stage frame, which makes the height adjustment more flexible. It goes really low and really high, so you can use it sitting or standing without any problems. Now back to one of the biggest upgrades for me, cable management. But honestly, this is also something that makes the whole desk system even better. The desk has a dual access system, so you can open it from the top or from underneath. That makes it way easier to actually organize everything instead of just hiding it somewhere. So I place all the power stripes, chargers and cables inside the desk, and once it's closed, everything just disappears. Even when the desk goes up and down, nothing gets pulled or tangled, everything just stays clean and in place. And one thing I didn't really expect at first is how customizable everything is. You don't just buy a desk, you can actually build a whole setup around it. For example, you can add a dual monitor arm, a power stripe system and a desk light, or even a PC holder if you don't want your PC on the desk. So basically you can decide how your setup should look and work. In my case, I went for a pretty clean minimalistic setup, but there are a lot of different combinations depending on what you need. And I think that's actually what it makes interesting. It's not just one desk, it's more like a full setup system. And yeah, when everything is put together like this, it finally feels like a complete workspace. Not just a desk and some devices, but a setup that actually works together. So if you work a lot at your desk, whether you're a programmer, content creator, or just spend a lot of time on your PC, I think a desk like this makes a big difference. And if you want, you can customize everything on their website and build your own version. So the link is in the description if you want to check it out, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! Bye bye!